Today we're taking a look at the OBSBOT Tiny 2 Lite, an AI-powered 4K PTZ webcam priced at $179. If you've been looking for a webcam that goes beyond just sitting still and giving you flat video, this one might surprise you. OBSBOT is known for adding clever AI features to their cameras, and the Tiny 2 Lite is no exception. By the way, PTZ stands for pan, tilt, and zoom, which means this camera can do all three. Let's start with the unboxing. Inside the box, you'll find the camera itself, a USB-C to USB-C cable, a USB-C to USB-A adapter, and the documentation. The camera is compact, just 91 grams, and has a really solid build. I immediately like that it could sit directly on top of a monitor or laptop, but it also has a standard tripod mount at the bottom, so I was able to mount it on a small handheld gimbal as well. Wherever I placed it, it sat securely. Before using it, OBSBOT recommends doing a quick firmware update through their software, which I did. It's simple, takes just a few minutes, and ensures you've got all the latest features and bug fixes. Now let's talk about the core of this camera, the 1/2-inch CMOS sensor. For a webcam, that's quite large, and the difference is immediately noticeable. The video quality is sharp, detailed, and looks fantastic even in low light. Colors are natural, and the dynamic range is strong enough to keep you visible in tricky lighting. Even in my dim room at night, the image held up without turning into a grainy mess. My face looked clear with just the light from the monitor. But of course, this webcam isn't just about raw image quality, it's about the AI features. The Tiny 2 Lite sits on a 2-axis gimbal, which allows for proper PTZ movement. In the OBSBOT software, you can choose different tracking modes: normal tracking, upper body, close-up, headless, or even lower body. Tracking was fast and smooth, and the framing always felt natural. You can also adjust the tracking speed according to your needs. The hand tracking mode was especially fun. You can hold objects in your hand, and the camera automatically adjusts to keep them in frame, which is great if you're showcasing handheld products. If you're a streamer, teacher, or creator who needs to show products, instruments, or notes, you'll love this feature. There's also zone tracking, where you can define areas of your space for the camera to follow while ignoring the rest. I could set a zone, and when I moved there, the camera would pan and lock onto me only within that area. Basically, I was limiting the camera's view. For presentations, that's a game changer. No cameraman needed. On top of that, OBSBOT added preset modes, so you can predefine PTZ positions, image settings, or even background blur, and switch between them instantly. The background blur had different levels and worked flawlessly, even with tracking enabled. It's a surprisingly professional feature at this price. By the way, I've got a special link in the description that gives you a 5% discount code, so if you're thinking about picking one up, make sure to use it and save a little extra. Speaking of the app, I tested the camera in Pro mode. The software is well thought out, and what I appreciated most is that almost every setting has a tooltip explaining what it does. You get full control over exposure, contrast, saturation, HDR, autofocus, auto exposure, and even anti-flicker, which is a lifesaver under LED lighting. There's also a virtual camera feature, letting you use OBSBOT effects inside third-party apps like Zoom or OBS. One of the coolest little touches is the sleep function. You can simply tilt the camera head down with your hand for 2 seconds and it will go into sleep mode, physically pointing the lens away for privacy. Tilt it back up and it wakes instantly. It also supports auto-sleep scheduling through the software. For privacy-conscious users, this is both simple and reassuring. Then there's Gesture Control 2.0. I tried the classic gestures, raising my hand to have it follow me, and the L-shape hand gesture to zoom in and out. Everything worked flawlessly, and it felt natural. I can definitely see content creators, online teachers, or even casual Skype users appreciating this. Performance-wise, the AI tracking was impressively accurate. I could move quickly around my space, and the camera kept up without getting confused. Autofocus, powered by PDAF technology, was snappy and locked onto me quickly, even when I moved objects in and out of frame. There are also little extras. A beauty mode where you can adjust almost every aspect of your face and look like a completely different person. Okay, I overused it and found it hilarious, but some people might actually use it for subtle corrections. There's also a laser whiteboard mode if you're using the optional remote, which highlights key points in a presentation. And yes, it even supports Stream Deck, OSC protocol, and SDK integration, so advanced users can tie it into custom workflows. Now, audio. The Tiny 2 Lite has dual omnidirectional microphones with noise reduction. They're fine for phone calls or Zoom meetings, but honestly, they sounded a bit shallow to me. For content creation or streaming, I'd still recommend using a dedicated mic. But as a built-in solution, they're perfectly usable and even have some adjustable settings. After longer sessions, I noticed the camera gets a little warm, but that's completely normal for a compact 4K device and nothing to worry about. So, what's the verdict? For $179, the OBSBOT Tiny 2 Lite delivers excellent 4K image quality, smart AI tracking, and genuinely useful features like presets, gestures, zone tracking, and privacy modes. It's not perfect. The built-in audio is just okay, and it's not a replacement for a professional mic. But for streamers, teachers, presenters, and professionals working remotely, this is an incredibly capable webcam that feels more like a mini smart camera. If you want your video calls, streams, or recordings to look sharper and more dynamic without spending a fortune, the Tiny 2 Lite is definitely worth considering. I'll leave a link to the product in the description below, so make sure to check it out. You can also look at the alternatives OBSBOT offers depending on your needs. With that said, I'd love to hear your thoughts about the product in the comments below. Thank you, and see you in the next one.